Good morning. Today on Spotlight, Peter Lucido, the Republican state senator representing Shelby Township and much of Macomb County. He's also the chair of the Michigan Senate Judiciary Committee. From roads to marijuana, he'll discuss it all. And later, Sandy Barua and Dennis Archer Jr. on the upcoming Detroit Policy Conference. And we'll check in with Michigan members of Congress, Debbie Dingell and Fred Upton, about President Trump's call for a national emergency regarding the wall. It's Sunday, February the 24th. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. Senator Lucido, thanks
good morning,
for coming
Chuck.
in today.
My pleasure.
You were at the governor's State of the State. Your immediate reaction? Good speech?
Yeah, I think it's at least is humbling to find somebody who wants to be a public servant the way people want to hear public servants. The problem is it takes money to do the things that she needs to have done.
Well, she had a laundry list of things she wants to get done. She hasn't presented her budget yet. That comes up in March. And I think that's the biggest thing that came out of it. People said, okay, we know what you want to do. Now, how will we pay for all of this? Chief among that, of course, is the roads. It's what she got elected on. It's something that people expect her to deliver on. What does she have to do in terms of a plan that you think will get through the legislature?
Had this discussion with her, and I'm glad that you brought it up, because when you go around the state toting the fact that fix the damn roads, you better have your money where your mouth is. And the reason is the legislature did everything last term, even allocated an additional $300 million from the general fund. So between the gas tax, the registration fees, the federal money coming in, and the general fund, it equaled about $5 billion. I don't see it. And the revenue conference that just happened in January, we're $185 million shortfall from where we were last year. So if you're also going to get rid of the pension tax of $300 million, where's all this money going to come from? And I want to hear it. One more thing, Chuck, I think it's important for the listeners. We're still paying off the bonding during Governor Engler's era. We're still paying.
Governor Engler's there. That was a few governors ago.
Yes, it was.
What do you say to people, and we've heard this already from the leadership of both the House and the Senate, let's make sure that, one, we are doing our due diligence with the money we already have before we start talking about new stream of money coming in. Is there enough money in the pot right now to fix Michigan's roads?
No. And you know what? And no one's going to be able to. If the money is in the pot, then you have to what's called redistribute it from registration fees as well as fix Public Act 51.
So you got to take it from somewhere else and put it directly towards the roads.
Yeah.
Is there enough money even to do that?
Yes, and I'll show you how. 6% on the sales tax goes to schools. It should have never happened. They should have had a policy that was sound in theory. Any tax that comes in from gas that goes into an automobile to break the roads should have went to the roads, not put.
But if you take that, then you're taking from schools.
Yeah.
This is a governor who campaigned on both a road agenda and an education agenda.
She sure did.
Isn't she going to get beat up by the MEA and all the educators if she starts taking money from education?
If she does it, she's going to have to backfill education with somewhere else. So you stop a leak here, but it sprouts over here, which means if you're taking it and adding it to the roads, you need to backfill over here, the schools, because I don't want to see any child without an education in this state. Also, the registration fees. In Macomb County, for instance, we're the third largest county for registration fees. First is Detroit or Wayne County. Second is Oakland, and third is Macomb. She needs to sit down with the leadership and says, Act 51 has been around, it's archaic, it's outdated, and it's unfair. We have the most people registering vehicles in Southeast Michigan. Let's fix the roads down there, and she'll get elected again. Because you know why? That's who put her in office the first time.
What do you think the legislature and the governor can sell to the people? Because the people will say, yes, I want the roads fixed, but then they'll say right after that, I don't want any more money coming out of my pocket.
Yeah, it's always nice to give away free tuition, as she's indicated, 2 years of community colleges, but where are you going to get the money? The people want all these services as well as free tuition, but it takes money, and guess what? If you're taking away from health and human services for our most vulnerable people, I'm not a big fan of that, and I will be a definite no. Don't touch that which we need to fix. That's giving it to the people that need it the most.
Is there a tax that you think the people will go for?
I sure as heck hope not, because I'm a no. I was a no on the registration fees on the first vote, no on the gas tax increase. I'll be a no again, because you have to make sure you redistribute Public Act 51 first, put in it where it's needed most, and then I will look at whether or not it's important to get more money in. And here's one more thing. Chuck, in 2021, at the end of the year, we will have infused all the money that was from the vote in the last two terms, raising the gas tax as well as the registration. Why don't we wait and see? Let's do that, because I don't think even giving all the money, that $1.5 billion more that they want, do we have the skilled trades? Do we have the equipment? Do we have the aggregate to get out there and fix the roads when we only have about 6 months to 7 months out of the year?
All right, we only have a few weeks before the governor presents her budget, and we'll see hopefully what her plan is going to be. We are going to take a quick break. We'll hurry right back and deal with a whole bunch of other issues. Governor Whitmer has paraded several people before your committee who she wants to be her directors. Your impressions so far?
So far, so good. It's the Advice and Consent Committee. I'm chairing that committee, as well as Jay Carr and Vice Chair of Oversight. These committees are awesome because of this. I get a chance to meet her directors. When a new administration comes in, all of a sudden they pick new directors. They pick people that they feel will add value to the state of Michigan, and more importantly, stewardship of the things that we have of precious nature. And as taxpayers, we want to get somebody who's uniquely qualified, but more importantly, giving us the best bang for the buck, that's somebody who is skilled and artful in the issues that face this state.
You're an attorney. Mayor Duggan says, look, there's civil rights violation on auto insurance reform, and he has taken it to the courts because he couldn't get it done through the House of Representatives in 2017. Is he right?
He could be. I'm looking at what Judge Stee said, and he's from Macomb County. He's the judge in charge of that case. He said, if you're making a law or a mandate that says that you must have insurance that is unaffordable because of pricing the person who works in the state, who doesn't make enough money to even feed themselves and put a roof over their head, you have a unconstitutional mandate, is what the argument is, in the law, because you've outpriced it for people to afford. And you know what? I mean, that's a question up to a trier of fact that says, is the cost of insurance so far burdensome that you are now putting people at risk of breaking the law? The jury's out on this, and whether or not you're allowed to have that, I think if it's unfair from the beginning, you are violating rights. It's the #1 bill of the Senate. It is the #1 priority of the Senate. And I'm telling all the viewers out there, it's going to get done this term in the Senate. Now the House, the bill goes on over there. Whatever we do in the Senate.
House didn't do it last time. Have the numbers changed enough? Has the will of the people and perhaps the legislature changed enough to be able to do something?
It better be, because it's too damn expensive, and we need to go ahead and correct the wrongs that have been done. Everybody should be entitled to a choice, and that choice is with any other insurance except auto no fault. And choice is where I'm at. Give the people what they can afford, not what we put in front of them. That's where I'm at.
You have concern over the legalization of marijuana in the state. The voters voted for it overwhelmingly. They said they want it. They've now got it. But as a lawyer and someone over the Judiciary Committee, you're concerned about this conflict between state law and federal law.
United States Attorney's Office has been put on notice that, #1, marijuana is still a Schedule I under federal law. Marijuana sales is still against the law. Marijuana proceeds cannot and shall not be placed in a federal banking institution.
How many state-owned banks in this state?
Handful. And this is where the problem lies, because you're putting those individuals that are dispensaries, grow operation, transporters at risk of getting robbed. Because if there's not a safe harbor to put it in a bank like we do with other business, why is it that the state is allowing this to continue? I understand what the voters did, and I'm fine with it. The reality is, if you're making these business and going through LARA, which is the licensing, at the end of the day, don't you think you owe those individuals that are running those businesses safe harbor to make sure that they can put their money in the bank and present themselves to Congress?
Mr. Chairman, in the governor's state of the state, she said it's time to expand the Freedom of Information Act to the executive branch and the legislature. Is she right, and will that get done? Because it didn't get through the Senate the last session.
How can I not say she's not right? She is 100% right. Whether or not the sunshine is going to go all the way through to the governor's office on every level, as well as the legislature, certain things are private, especially somebody who is a constituent that is looking after services. If they're in special needs, those things as far as their name should be redacted, and the services that we're forwarding these individuals. Why? It's unfair to disclose personal information about anybody in this state, let alone. But if it's something that deals with the legislative tactics and or the money that's going and coming, you're darn right. Everything is on the table, and nothing should be off the table.
You've sort of made it to Hollywood. Famous picture that is in the movie Vice about Vice President Cheney. You're front and center on that. You've been catching a lot of flack, good or bad, from your constituents or anyone else as a result of this photo?
I never understood why that photo made it so, I guess, popular.
The intensity of your face says it all. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, and you know what? The way I look at it is this. I went to Lansing to do a job, not get a job. I'm going to stay with that mantra, which is this. The people deserve the very best. And then whether you're an R or a D, you still give it to the P, the people.
All right, we're not going to see you sign up for the Motion Picture Union because you're off to Hollywood.
Nah.
All right. Senator, thank you so much for coming in. We'll get you back.
Thanks.
All right.